Hey, this is Chris with Ugly.Teacher.Hiking. What's the most important piece of equipment you can bring with you when you go camping? Your backpack? Sleeping bag? Tent? Or could it be coffee? Let's talk about it. Ugly.Teacher.Hiking. I hike it so you don't have to. Hey, let's take a look at the Coffee Brew Buddy by Primula. I got this off of Amazon. They sell them in packs of 2. I think they sold it in a pack of 1 as well. Here's out of the package. Basically, it is just a plastic ring with a coffee filter or a regular filter on the bottom. It's definitely a pour over accessory. It's a great little thing. You've seen me use it in one of my videos previously when I was using alcohol stoves. And I think I said on there I wanted to talk about this eventually. We'll look at the stats, the dimensions, the weights and all that in a little bit. But this is a great little added accessory to make your coffee, tea, or whatever have you while you're out in the field or at home. Get this out of the way. Now, many of you know that this is the titanium cup I use for most of my camping stuff, videos. This is a 550 ultralight by Toaks. Great little cup. And I probably wouldn't go any smaller than that for things. So with this, if I were to pour boiling water on top, it has a little lip, it overhangs slightly. I could use it that way. I would leave enough water in there and just let it soak like that. Or I could do a pour over, but then I would need another cup. So typically I like to have my GSI or something similar cup along with this. Really any coffee cup would do as long as the diameter is smaller than the Coffee Buddy. So this is a pretty cool thing. So we'll take a look at this and the dimensions and weight as we usually do. We're going to take a look at the weight of this to start off. I'm going to plop this on top of the scale. That gets us 1.1 ounces, 1.1 ounces. So it's light, not as light as I would like it to be, but it's pretty light. It is something you're not going to lose when you're out in the field for the size of it. All right, let's look at the dimensions of this. We'll use the electric ruler for that. So let's start off with the thickness of this. We'll go right into there. So it's 0.51 inches or 13.1 millimeters. 13.1 millimeters. Let's look at diameter. That gets us 113.7 millimeters or 4.47 inches. 4.47 inches. The hole in the middle is 2.03 inches or 50.9 millimeters. 50.9 millimeters. Okay, because of bad weather outside, I don't like doing this from the inside of my apartment, but we're gonna have to do this. we're going to have to take a look at the Coffee Brew Buddy. The dimensions are great on this. It's really flat, so if you wanted to put this in your pocket, you could put it in your pocket. It's a little big, and in your pack or your food bag, perfect size for it. Perfect size. It's not going to take up much room like some of the other coffee stuff will. So we're just going to use our 550 mug. We're going to place that on top. Off to the side, you can see that it goes about halfway, 3/4 of the way to the bottom of the mug. Now, when I make the coffee with this, I like to leave it resting in there for a minute or two, just so we can get the full flavor of the coffee or tea, whatever you're going to use it with. So today I'm going to just use, I believe it's Maxwell House. No, that's the tea. Here's Maxwell House and another chamomile tea here. These tubes are great for this. I'm starting to really dig and happy that I got them. Like I said before, a little big, but if you're selective with what you take, these are a perfect size. So I'm going to take about 2 spoonfuls. I'm going to use my Kupilka. 1, 2, well, those are little, yeah, we're going to have to go with 3. 3. Keep in mind, this is for 1 cup for me individually. And that took up about 1/4 of the baby water bottle, or the baby bottles. So I can't say how awesome these things are enough. So check those out. So with this, we have it in here. It's in there. I wish there was some way to transport it, like twist it and then leave it like that. Also keep in mind, you cannot have this ground too fine. So you cannot use like an espresso ground in this. It'll just go right through the mesh. So anything for a drip coffee, I think would be fine with this. So I had to go in and use my wife's hot water kettle. And I got water for this. It's in my Yeti cup, if I can get the lid out. So we're just going to pour over. Give it a second. Pour over. Give it a second. All right, I love my coffee, but I'm not an artist with it. I've seen people who really get into it. Oh, you got to have this much or whatever. I'm not that much of a coffee snob, but I do love my coffee. So I'm going to give this a quick stir. 1, 2, 3. And I've found in the past from using this, got to wait about 2 minutes. So we'll wait 2 minutes and I'll come back to you. So we've been waiting about those 2 minutes. I just wanted to get you a closer look at this. You can see the coffee in there. I just lift it up a little. You can see it dripping. The mesh I wish was a little finer, more like a coffee filter fine, but as long as you're not ground too fine, you should be fine with this. Lots of fines. So this is a great little thing. Now I'm going to have one issue in a minute and we'll find out what. So if you figured out what the issue is going to be, you'll see in a second. So let's just move this out of the way for now. Now I'm going to take this out. My biggest issue, if this was like a tea bag or one of those Folgers instant coffees in a tea bag, I would just throw the whole thing out or put it in a plastic bag and carry it out and throw it in the correct garbage receptacle. But what do I do now? What do I do now? If I'm in the field and I have a lot of extra water, I dump out the grinds. But the thing with this is, I don't always have the extra water, so you got to be conscious of that. So with this way we can just see what we have. I'm going to pull this up, kind of squish it down to get all the juice out of there. Coffee juice. Leave my Kupilka spoon in there. If I had all day long, I was at a campsite, I'll probably leave this, let it dry out, dump it out, throw it in the fire, and the beans should burn as long as it's dry. If not, and if I'm not allowed to do that, I'll hike it out. Just plain and simple. Leave it as you found it. So you turn it inside out. I'm going to use a spoon, kind of so I don't get it all over me. So I got it off there. There's still quite a bit on there. If I'm in the field, I'll be okay. I definitely make sure I carry a plastic bag that can fit this. I would give it a little twist and then just leave it like that for now. That's not working either. So just leave it flat. When it dries, hopefully the rest of the beans should fall off relatively easy. I love this thing. This thing is great. It's flat. The issue I have with this, the pores on there are too big, meaning you can only use like Maxwell House, major store brands. You can't use espresso fine ground beans in this because it'll just go right through. So just make sure you use a coarse grind. If you like coarse grind coffee, it's awesome. It works great. So we could take that up. The other issue I have is it's a big circle. It's a big circle, but it's relatively flat. I think we measured at 1/2 inch when it's flat. That was 1/2 inch from this rim to this rim, the rims. So it's a little concave or convex depending on how you have it. So it's a great thing. Would I suggest anyone buying this? Oh, heck yeah. For the money, it's worth it. At least give it a try. You don't like it, give it to a relative. Save the packaging, give it to a relative, give it to a friend, give it to someone who's starting out camping. I would definitely suggest give it a try. It's worth it. On Amazon, just give it a try. I think at one point they might have sold this at REI. I think I got this at REI at one point, but they don't sell it any longer on their website. So you might find it in old stock. The next big thing with this is, did this create the perfect cup of coffee? It's pretty dang good. It's pretty dang good. So please click like and subscribe. Add the comments in the bottom. I love to hear what you guys have to say. I get some of the greatest comments. Try to get back to them as much as possible, and other people get to them. Also, remember this. I review it so you don't have to. I hike it so you don't have to. As soon as all this weather's over with and we get warmer, I'll be hiking a lot more. Have a great day.